Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1980 comedy, well, more of a spoof movie, Airplane, starring Robert Hayes, Julie Haggerty, Robert Stack, Lloyd Bridges, Leslie Nielsen, the guy from Mission Impossible, who we're going to get into later in the review. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Barbara Billingsley is in this movie, and some of the people that can. Jill Whelan from The Love Boat. She has a small part in this movie as well. She's the one who played Vicky in The Love Boat. She has a part in this movie, and I think that's all I can name in this film. Of course, Airplane came out at a time when we had a lot of disaster films, particularly during the 70s, when we had movies like The Messiah Adventure, we had Towering Inferno, we had all those airport movies, we had an airplane disaster or an airplane crash, or a problem with a plane and they barely made it in time to the airport to rescue everybody. Or in the 70s, they really overdid with the all-star cast disaster films. And Airplane came along to spoof all that stuff. And it stars Robert Hayes and a guy named Stryker. And of course, actually, they always make jokes about that name, especially in the sequel. It came out a couple of years later. It said Stryker, Stryker, and Trey Coleman, and they when they were over the radio for the plane, and there was a man and woman behind the background, and the guy and the only person says Stryker, 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 on the phone, and the guy hits the woman in the background, punches her out, and it's like one of the many bits, comedy bits, not only in this movie but in the sequel, and which was almost like a carbon copy of the original film. But I'm focusing on the original in this video, and it starts off as really a love story between Julie Haggerty and Robert Hayes, and she works as a stewardess, and they have a love affair really, and they did a spoof of Saturday Night Fever where they met. I mean, and Robert Hayes did his best impression of John Travolta in that thing. Even wore the same white suit that John Travolta wore in Saturday Night Fever, so they did a whole spoof for that, and they did even did the song, "Staying Alive" from that movie as well. I mean, it's like one comedy bit after the other. Every time he tells a story to somebody, so the person sitting next to him, the person kills themselves. I mean, you had to see a woman hung herself, or at least her feet dangling in midair, and another person who shoots himself, and another person who's about to let who pour gasoline all over himself, light himself on fire, and then and then Robert Hayes gets called to the cockpit to help save the plane. So he stops him killing. He was about to kill himself, and then when Robert Hayes starts telling a story, then he stops. I mean, it's like one of those constant bits all over, and then you had the pilot of the plane. You said, Robert Graves. That was the guy. Guy's name from Mission Impossible. There was this little kid who wanted to be on see the cockpit. So they allowed him to come into the cockpit, and so the first thing that he says to the kid was, "Have you seen a grown man naked?" He keeps saying all these inappropriate stuff to this kid, and he says, "Have you ever seen a gladiator movie?" All this crazy crap to this kid, all these ridiculous, crazy, stupid questions to this kid, and this kid never answers the guy. But then the kid recognizes the co-pilot, who was played by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball player, who was still in his prime as a player at that time. Who was retired like 8 years later, but like 8-9 years later he would retire from basketball. But he was there and said, "Hey, aren't you Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?" And it's a kind of like a spoof of having like a famous athlete in one of these disaster films. Kind of like what O.J. Simpson was in the town in Florida playing a security guard. They kind of like sign off on that, say, "Hey, what's your career? What you bought?" I said, "No, my name is Roger. My name is Roger. Whatever. Not Kareem." And the kid keeps ragging on because we probably keep saying how much you stink or you stunk in the playoffs or because we have season tickets to the Lakers and we all know how much you stink on defense. When they say the word suck, I'm sure if any player made today, he would say you suck in defense. But since it's 1980, you didn't use the word suck that much in movies back then, and so Kareem grabs him and says, "Hey, you tell your old man that if he has to drag these two guys, go up and down the court for 48 minutes, see how successful you'll be on defense." That type of thing. So like one of these constant jokes. I mean it's two not long movies, an hour and a half, but it's like constant jokes, one sight gags and stuff that happens in the background is ridiculous. But I know I'm not focusing on the plot that much. Well, the plot is that when Robert Hayes gets on the airplane, they found out that people were getting sick. Because people who they have a choice of a meal between fish and steak, and the people who picked the fish, they all got sick. Including the pilot, the co-pilot, and by half the passengers, they all got sick. So Robert Hayes was a pilot in the military. Every time, who was a pilot in the military. Gets in the cockpit and flies the plane, and of course, Owen never flew a plane this big, so they had to talk him down. And his old captain, who's played Robert Stack, does talk to him. And like I said earlier, it's ironic that Robert Stack was in this movie because he was in one of the first of these airplane disaster films, and it was The High and the Mighty, and they previously reviewed that. So please check out that video on my YouTube channel. So it's kind of ironic that you have one of the guys who's in one of the first airplane disaster films in this comedy spoof. So you have him in there talking to, and of course eventually at the end of the movie he does land the plane. And of course when he gets recruited when Robert Hayes gets recruited to fly the plane. Of course, he says the most quoted line, most famous sequence line in this whole movie, the one that gets quoted a lot. It says to Leslie Nielsen, and Leslie Nielsen plays a doctor and examining people, people on the plane, and he says, and Robert Hayes says to Leslie Nielsen, "Shirley can't be serious." And he goes, "Yes, I am serious, and don't call me Shirley." So that's like the most quoted line in the whole movie. And of course, there's always another bit that's very funny. There's one woman who's hysterical, and Leslie Nielsen comes over, slaps her in the face, shakes her, slaps her in the face, and says, "Ma'am, you're not doing a good job. Let me do it." It's all right. So he steps out of the way, and there's a whole line of people lined up. And one of them has boxing gloves to hit. One has a baseball bat. Another one has a lead pipe. They hit him over the head, to calm him down and stuff. I mean, it's really, really, really overdoing it with the sight gags, and this movie became a real big. And of course, the other thing that became popular was the automatic pilot was like an inflatable dummy who does all this crazy shit. I mean, it's like there was somebody. It had to be somebody in that costume. I mean, and he was at one point when they pulled the co-pilot or the automatic pilot out of the co-pilot seat, he groped Julie Hagley's boobs, whatever boobs she has. I mean, whatever. And he has a hands like on here. I mean, it was really, really funny. And it's like, talking about a horny mannequin. It's almost like a sex doll, this thing. I mean, it was really ridiculous, really over the top, really, really silly. And, with all this stuff going on with, the coronavirus, the stupid virus, everything was the virus. Fuck the virus. You could take time off and watch it like a silly comedy, and this movie is 40 years old now, and so you can say that how lame, how dumb, the jokes were dumb, and even at the time I thought the jokes were dumb. When I saw it, I first saw it at my aunt's house because she had cable at the time, and he had an HBO, and I saw it. I said, "Oh, this was dumb. This was so silly." I mean, it's kind of like Seinfeld. It's so silly. It's so dumb. You have to laugh at it. I mean, that's how I felt about Airplane. And then I thought, oh, since this movie was so silly, let's go see the sequel. It was Airplane 2, the sequel, and it was almost the same thing, and it's not, it's almost the same type of jokes, and the same type of plot, and the same type of silly stuff, and it's like one of those unnecessary sequels. But because the original movie was so successful, they made a sequel out of it. But the original Airplane, some of the jokes might not hold up today, because it's like I said, a 40-year-old movie. But for those of you who haven't seen it before, you might think it's silly and dumb and stuff. But at least it'll get your mind off of the stupid virus crap. So that's my review of the 1980 movie Airplane. Please click on the video, please rate it. Feel free, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my videos on my YouTube channel at RallyC.com, so WDY.C.com. That's the homepage of Rally Reviewer. Chris Lee Moore. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.